in front of your consciousness, the mind brings wrong ideas, means it's called wrong knowledge. But in front of your consciousness, whether it is right or wrong, anything is experienced is imagination. Except consciousness, anything experienced is imagination. Please understand. In front of your consciousness, if your mind brings wrong ideas, misconceptions, it is called wrong knowledge. Means for a wrong knowledge to happen, your consciousness needs to be present and mind needs to do something. But for imagination to happen, vikalpa to happen, nothing needs to be done. Anything experienced by you other than your pure consciousness is vikalpa. That is why we call samadhi state as nirvikalpa. Please understand. He is taking us to a very subtle plane. Sometimes you may not have wrong knowledge, but you will have imaginations. You may not have wrong knowledge, but you will have imaginations. A small story. One guy walked into the bar, sat next to a man who was sitting with a dog at his feet. This guy asked, "Does your dog bite?" That guy said, "No." This guy bent and patted the dog, and the pet bit him. Just bitten him. This guy shouted, "You said your dog doesn't bite? It has bitten me." That guy said, "Yes, my dog doesn't bite, but this is not my dog." You may not have wrong knowledge, but you have your own imagination. Understand? Your own imagination. Many times, vikalpa brings more suffering. Today I have a lot of stories on imagination. Imagination is my favorite subject. Because so much of suffering can be avoided if you understand imagination. If you just understand imagination. Viparyaya, even viparyaya is not that deep. If your mind can be relaxed from constant movement in the conscious layer, you can come out of viparyaya. But vikalpa, even your sleep is vikalpa. Please understand, viparyaya can happen only in your waking state or dream state. But vikalpa can happen even in the deep sleep state. Even if deep sleep is a vikalpa. Viparyaya can touch only your conscious mind and subconscious mind. Means wrong knowledge can touch you, can disturb you only in the waking state and dream state. But vikalpa, imagination, can disturb you even in the dream, even in the deep sleep state. Sorry, not in the dream, even in the deep sleep state. It can disturb in all three states. You may think, how can vikalpa, imagination, disturb me in the deep sleep state? Sometime when you are out of deep sleep state, you will say, it was suffocating, as if somebody was pressing me. It is not a dream. If it is dream, you can remember and tell. It will not be like a dream. It will be like a deep suffocation. That's what we call vikalpa. Means imagination. Many times you imagine things. You imagine things. I have one more story for you about imagination. I'll read it out. It will be very nice. One guy goes to South Africa and sends a letter to his mother saying, "Dear mother, I am sending some pills which doctor gave. And if you take one, it will take years of your life. After a month, that guy comes back home. He sees beautiful young women outside his house, sitting with a baby. And this guy comes back and asks, "Where is my mother?" She says, "Don't be silly, I am your mother." And those pills were marvelous. This guy says, "Oh God, I can't imagine. Only one pill. You are able to have a baby." She says, "Are you crazy? That is not a baby, that's your father. He took two." If you take Viparyaya and Vikalpa both, imagination. Many times we imagine too many things. Vikalpa can touch deeper zones than Viparyaya. Means imagination can touch the deeper zones than wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge is more like a logic. When you have a wrong logic, it's a wrong knowledge. But the Vikalpa, imagination, is deeper than wrong knowledge. Patanjali says, imagination as opposed to reality is the result of mere words that is known as Vikalpa or fantasy. Vastu sunyo Vikalpaha. Every word of Patanjali brings me so much of joy. I can say every word, so much of clarity, so much of depth. He is saying opposed to reality, anything opposed to reality, which is created merely by words. Merely by words. Many times you can see in your life, you are constantly creating many things just by words. Just by words. Simple words. You create your own theories. You spin your own moods, I can say. Your mind and body comes in contact with each other at 7 spots in your body. Both of them touch each other. 7 spots, that is what we call 7 energy centers. In yoga tradition, they call that 7 spots as 7 energy centers, and they call it as Chit Jada Grandhi, where the matter and consciousness meets each other. Matter and consciousness meets each other. Each spot gets corrupted when your imagination is added. Please understand, each spot gets corrupted when your imagination is added. The first root center, if your imagination is added, it just shows the things which is not there. It just shows the things which is not there. It just shows things in the expanded size. That is why constantly you feel the other person is cheating you. Other person not giving you your proper share. Other person is depriving you. In any relationship, you always feel the other is not fulfilling you. Please understand. It is your fantasy. When imagination is added to your root center, You start expecting the things which can never happen, which can never happen, or which never happened, which will never happen. You start imagining things, you start projecting things, you start creating things, and when you see it is not happening through the other person, you start blaming the other person. You start cursing the other person. Imagination added to your greed is fantasy. Imagination added to your fear is, we can say, the main reason for all the phobias. When imagination is added to your fear, it becomes phobia. Constantly you are feeling frightened. Constantly you are feeling frightened. I've heard one more story. You have one more story. A man walks out of a bar and sees a bum panhandling on the corner. The bum says, "Mister, do you have $1? You could spare me." The man thinks about the question for a bit and asks the bum, "If I give you $1, are you going to use it to buy liquor?" He says, "No." The man asks, "If I give you $1, are you going to use it for gambling?" The bum says, "No." The man says to the bum, "Do you mind coming home with me so I can show my wife what happens to someone who does not drink or gamble?" He has his own fear with the wife. Now he wants the proof. Please understand, if the fantasy is added to your greed, he has expectation from her. If the fantasy is added to fear, he is completely frightened by her. But she is the same person. The other person is same. If your imagination is added to your greed, you see her as much beyond what she is through fantasy. If your imagination is added to fear, the same way you see her much beyond what she is through fear. Whether it's imagination or fear, you see what is not. You see what is not. You start seeing things. You experience things which is not there. One more story for you. Every day this guy comes back home after fully drunk. Wife wanted to frighten this guy, so she decides to give him a shock. Every day this guy walks through a cemetery, late night. She decides to go and sit there with all the makeup and frighten him. She covers herself with a black shawl and she creates smoke. The whole scene is ready. When he comes fully drunk, she just jumps in front of him and creates a big sound. He very coolly turns and says, "Don't you know me? I am married to your sister." When your imagination is added to fear, again you see what is not there. Even small things feels like a torture. Please understand, if your imagination is added to greed, even simple things feel like a heaven. Many people come and tell me their experiences about their vacation and all those things. I am not able to connect at all with the idea of vacation. You may think I am from the other planet. No, when people come and tell me, I am going for vacation, Swamiji, or I went for a vacation, can you see the photographs, we went here, we went there. this is our vacation, this is our vacation photograph and all those things. I can't imagine. They have all those vacation photographs on the refrigerator. Wherever I go in the houses, the refrigerator and the cupboards, they forget even that smile was post smile. Whenever they see that photographs, they think, oh, those days when we went for vacation, it was such a joy, so much of ecstasy. I can't connect with the idea of vacation at all. What is vacation? You are going to carry the same mind, same wife, same thing. If you are sitting and worrying in the house, it is called homework. If you are sitting and worrying in the office, it is called business. If you are sitting and worrying in somewhere where you don't know, that's called vacation. I can't connect with that idea of vacation at all. Many times people try to tell me, why don't you take vacation, Swami? I tell them, what will I do? Even if I go there, I'll gather few people and start talking about something. Then let me sit here itself, at least people will be more comfortable in the hall. Instead of sitting somewhere where people will not have comforts, where I will not have microphone. When your imagination is added to greed, things are looking more greener. Things are looking more joyful. Even small action, even one simple rose, you say, oh, she loves me. I love her. Still, I am not able to understand at all these words, all these giving one card, giving one rose. I don't know how the love is conveyed through that, or love is felt through that. I can't relate with that idea. People say, no, you are too insensitive, Swami. But what to do? When imagination is added to your greed, everything looks sweet. Everything looks fantastic. You feel the other person is angel. But when one shift happens in the energy center, that same imagination raises 2 inches above to Swadhisthana, to the fear. The other person looks like a devil. The reality is the other is neither devil nor angel. He's a man. She's a woman. That's all. When we see the other person as an angel or devil, we are suffering with vikalpa, imagination. We are suffering with vikalpa. Anything other than reality, if you see, you are suffering with vikalpa. You are suffering with vikalpa. One more story about vikalpa. I hate this modern art, he says to his wife. What a piece of crap that is. Wife says, no, that is a Picasso. This guy says, what about this one with all crazy lines? She says, that is Kandinsky. This guy says, oh, okay, how about this one? Where this guy's got a pencil neck, his nose is upside down, his eyes are on the same side of his head. She says, that is a mirror. He was continuously criticizing everything. He doesn't know it is a mirror. Please understand, the big problem is when you are caught in the greed or fear, not only you will suffer with the other person, you will suffer with you also. When this guy was criticizing all the modern arts one by one, he did not even have awareness to see it is a mirror. He was criticizing. Same way, when you are caught with greed, if you are fantasizing about everything, you will not have awareness to see your own reality. You will fantasize about you also and suffer. Fantasizing about you and suffering is the worst suffering. You will never face the reality. Please understand. If you are fantasizing about somebody and suffering, that person will teach you the lesson. You will understand. You will wake up. You have to wake up. You have to wake up. You can't continue to dream. You can't continue to fantasize, because fulfilling your fantasy is a big headache, responsibility for the other person. Nobody will be able to do that job. They will take vacation. You will realize your fantasy is your fantasy. But if your fantasy is about you and torture yourself, you will never be able to come out of it. That is what almost all the people who misunderstood yoga starts doing. Please understand, I have seen many yogis, not yogis, who think they are yogis. They go on and on and on, torture themselves. They torture themselves so much, they can't tolerate. Please understand, they can neither stop torturing, nor they can tolerate their own torture. I have seen people fighting with themselves, especially with wrong ideas. Many wrong ideas, they misinterpret yoga and they become masochists. They start torturing themselves. I have seen, especially during my wandering, I have seen people torturing themselves and feeling that they are big yogis. I have seen one guy standing on one leg for 12 years. No, really. I went to him just to pay respect to his tapas. I saluted him and I asked him, why are you standing? Do you have any purpose for this? That fellow is such a fool. He doesn't even have the idea of enlightenment or anything. He is not able to answer. Then I just kept quiet. Then all the crowd left. I asked him, can you tell me at least now the reason? He said, Baba, the initial when I started standing, it was like an exercise. When I saw so many people are giving me attention, and I started enjoying the attention, finally it became my lifestyle. Please understand, he is torturing himself. Practically one leg is dead. It is no more part of his body. He is dead. He is crippled. But this guy goes on thinking he is doing some great thing. Many times, the greed, the fantasy is turned towards us, and you will never be able to come out of that torture which is created. If the fantasy is turned towards you, I can say that's the worst thing. Many times these yogis cannot enjoy themselves. Not real yogis who think they are yogis. The masochist people. They become sadist also. They start torturing others. Actually, one incident happened the other day. From January till March, all of us, I think big group of our devotees and brahmacharis and brahmacharinis, all of us were walking, doing padayatra. During the yatra, we were crossing one city. There was a temple. Some of my brahmacharinis, young girls, took brahmachari diksha. Those girls were just laughing and walking, doing the yatra. There were few guys who think themselves as yogis. There's outside every temple in South India, you will see one bunch of beggars sitting in the yogi dress. And they talk all great Vedanta. They will be torturing themselves and torturing others. One bunch of fools are sitting like that. And my brahmacharis were walking with the kavi, and they were joyful, happy, because they are living real yoga. And these guys saw them, they are so happy. First thing, these young kids are so happy, they can't tolerate. The second thing, they can't tolerate sannyasis can be so happy. That's another one big problem. So one guy started telling, see these Nithyananda Swamis and Swaminis, wherever you go, they are there, laughing, joking. The other guy said, better, because they know the route we are walking, the other guy said, better let us go away to Salem. There we will not see these guys. We don't have to see these guys. The other fellow commented, no, he is popular there also. There also you will see people with his sannyasis, his devotees. The other guy said, no, let's go away to some other state. Only then we don't have to see these guys. Again this fellow commented, no, in other states are also, he is very popular. You will see his devotees there also. Suddenly my brahmacharis, they were keeping quiet. Now they said, it is too much. They turned and said, go to hell, you will not see our Swami's devotees there. That is the right place you need to be. Many times, these so-called yogis, they torture themselves. Please understand, the vikalpa needs to be understood in a very deep sense. Imagination not only related to others, imagination related to you also will bring torture to you. You will be torturing yourself. When you torture yourself, naturally you will give that to others. You won't give headache to others if you don't have one. Please understand. You can't give it to others if you yourself don't have. If you are giving it to others, you need to be clear, you have one. Many times, the so-called yogis start torturing themselves. If you have fantasy towards others, at least they will teach you that it is a fantasy, come down. But if you have fantasy about yourself, there will be nobody to teach you. You will continue to torture yourself. You will continue to suffer. You will continue to suffer with that vikalpa. And the next level is much worse. If you have fear about others, at least at some place where the other person is not there, you will be free. You will not have that fear. If you start creating fear about yourself, you can never escape from that. You can never escape from that. I have seen many people, they start creating fear about themselves. They start creating fear about themselves. They can never be free. They can never relax. They can never be at ease with themselves. It's I can say, the worst hell. If they start creating fear about themselves, they can't live in joy, live in bliss. This story, beautiful story. One Zen master was walking near a river. One young lady was standing. She asked him, please can you help me to cross the river? The master was with his disciple, young disciple. Master said, no problem. He just carried her and left her the other side, came back. Young disciple can't tolerate. An enlightened person, a monk, how can you lift her? How can you touch a young lady first? How can you lift her and help her to cross the river? He is not able to tolerate, but somehow he kept quiet. When they reached the monastery, he asked, how can you touch her and lift, help her to cross the river? Is it not wrong? The master looks at him and says, I left her long before. Why are you still carrying her? I left her there itself. Why are you still carrying her? He has his own fears about himself. Please understand. He has deep fears about himself. That is why he can't relate with the reality. He can't relate with the other person. He can't relate with the other person. In Ramakrishna's life, there is a beautiful incident. He lived with Sarada Devi till the end. They lived such a wonderful life. Many times he was criticized for living with his wife in the temple. He was in the Dakshineshwar temple. But he lived such an amazing life. The relationship between them was such a wonderful relationship. You can't describe it. You can't describe it. The real yogi relationship. He always used to answer them, respond to them, that they are afraid of themselves. That is why they are afraid of the outside person. Please understand, if you are afraid of the other, at least when the other person is not there, you will not have the fear. If you are afraid of yourself, it's like a fear of ghost. It will continue to be there. It will continue to haunt you. It will continue to shake you. It will continue to frighten you. It's the worst thing somebody can have. I've seen many times. The so-called yogis criticize me. What is this? You are sitting in such a big throne and so many disciples are serving you. I tell them, I don't have fear, I will get attached to it. You have fear. That is why you are afraid of it. I have seen many people. They are afraid of handling wealth. Please understand, renouncing because of fear is not renunciation. Many times, people don't want responsibilities, not because that they don't want the freedom which responsibility gives, just because they don't know how to handle the responsibility, the fear of responsibility. The fear of life, they start acting, I renounced everything. I have seen in Himalayas, the so-called yogis, they leave their house, everything, and come and settle down in a small temple. They will settle down in Himalayas. They will sit outside the temple for their food, taking bhiksha, for begging. They will become attached to that spot. Nobody else can sit in their spot. They will fight for that spot. They left their property. They left their house. They left everything and came here. Now they will be fighting for the 2 feet by 2 feet place. Means what? They did not renounce because they don't want. They renounced because of the fear of responsibility. Many times you start renouncing because of fear of responsibility. No. When you are sitting in this, one side you may have the fear. Two kinds of fear. One, you need to maintain this. Second, you may get attached to this and start suffering. If you are renouncing because of these two fears, no, that is no way going to help. I have seen many people renouncing for various reasons, but it is not renunciation. It is doing the same thing through the other way. I have seen people, they renounce all their gold, wealth, everything and come away to Himalayas with one kamandalu, water pot. But they will get so attached to that pot, they will wash that pot whole day and keep it shining. I know one Baba is called Kamandalu Baba. All he does is 6 hours per day he will wash that kamandalu. First he will wash with sand, then he will wash with tamarind, then he will wash with the powder, then he will apply ash on that. And that kamandalu, that water pot became his brand. Many times people do that. It's not renunciation, doing it in the other way. I have one more story for you about that. This guy goes into a bar and orders three separate short glasses of Irish whiskey. He drinks all 3. He does this day after day after day after day. The bartender finally says, You know, I can put all three of those shots into one glass for you. The guy says, no, I prefer it in this way. See, I have two brothers. They are abroad. I love them. This glass right here feels that I am drinking for each one of them. I feel all three of us are together here and drinking. And the guy continues to come in day after day, does the same thing. The bartender also continues to set up 3 glasses. One day, the guy comes with a long face and says, give me 2 shots today. The bartender is shocked. He thinks something wrong has happened. He asks, what happened? Did something happen to one of your brothers? Bartender asks. No. The guy says, they are okay. It is just that I decided to quit drinking. Understand? All our renunciation is more or less like this. You decide to quit drinking, but you go on drinking. We renounce maybe the fear of maintaining or fear of attachment. If you renounce because of fear of maintaining or fear of attachment, please be very clear, you will be surely enjoying in some other way. That's what Krishna calls beautifully mithyacharaha, hypocrite, who is renouncing physically but enjoying in some other form. I can say one of the worst curse happened to India is this mithyachara. In course of time, people have started renouncing because of their fear of attachment, fear that they may get attached, or that fear they have to maintain. Out of that, when they started renouncing, they never achieved yoga. And people have started thinking, this renunciated, these guys have become yogis. No. Understand? Renunciation which happens because of vikalpa is not yoga.